Good morning, Jillian. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me. I'm really honored.
Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your involvement with the community?
So currently, I'm an attorney with the law firm of McAndrews Mahalik, Connolly, Hulse Ryan. We're based out in Berwyn, and I am here at the Pittsburgh office. And the focus is on estate planning and special education, and I have a focus in special needs planning. So that's my professional hat that I wear. I am also involved in the community in many ways. So I am the most recent past chair of JFCS board. I previously served on the board of directors of the Friendship Circle, and my first foray into working in the community was with AJL. I was appointed really long time ago to serve from my synagogue's committee to work on inclusion in the Sunday school setting. So that's how this all sort of started. And it was there that I met some other recipients of the award, and I started on this path.
Great. I don't know when your interest in helping people with disabilities and their families really begin. Could you tell us how you became interested in that?
I think it's an interest I've always had. When I was in law school, actually, I was in the disability law clinic. And I started law school in 1990. And that right during my tenure in the disability law clinic is when the ADA passed. So we did some of the first ADA cases in Connecticut, where I went to school. So I've always had an interest. Took myself out of that realm when I got my first job out of law school, but I did still do some injury-related things, workers' compensation and Social Security, and then moved to Pittsburgh. And at the point of moving to Pittsburgh, both of my children were diagnosed on the autism spectrum. They're now young adults. But that really solidified my desire to give back and help other families like myself. And for the last 10 plus years, I've been practicing in the area of estate planning with a focus on helping families plan for the future of a loved one that has a disability. So, and individuals themselves that are planning for themselves. That's what inclusion is about, is making sure that everyone has a voice. And I try to make sure that I do that in my profession as well.
Great. What does it mean to you to be given the Shore-Whitehill Award?
It's truly an honor to be the recipient of the Shore-Whitehill Award because it's about promoting inclusion in the community. When Bob called me to let me know that I had won the award, I was like speechless. Because I was very humbled to be included in a group of such prestigious individuals who have promoted inclusion in the community, like my past board chair of JFCS, Matt Keller, Dot Poland from Friendship Circle, and Judy Cohen, who actually I have to give credit for starting me on this path, telling me about Friendship Circle and really opening up this world to me. So I was so impressed to be included in that group. I'm honored to be recognized for my community involvement, and I really hope that I can continue to exemplify that virtue of being a springboard of change. I really try to be an advocate. I'm also on the board of directors of Achieva, and I'm the past chair of the ARC of Greater Pittsburgh. And one of the focuses is advocacy. And I really try to make sure that we're promoting legislation that is inclusive. I've spent some time traveling with ARC of Greater Pittsburgh and Achieva to Washington and also to Harrisburg to make sure that there is a voice on when it was the creation of the ABLE Act, and now it's the direct support professional crisis. We really want to make sure that our voices are heard.
That's so important. What do you think is the most important thing for people with disabilities and their families to know about planning for the future?
I think it's about creating a support system and putting in place those mechanisms that will allow that support system. So from my angle, it's about creating that future of a trust, making sure that the individual has the assets to supplement their lifestyle So an individual with disability may or may not be receiving means-tested benefits. And my job as an attorney and a planner is to make sure that that individual continues to maintain receipt of government benefits that may provide for a monetary monthly amount. It may provide for their medical services and their ability to be included in the community through waiver funds. So it's protecting that. When I think about inclusion, I think, well, how does what I do on a professional level promote that? And I think that's important. It's about, protecting that ability to be included in the community in the setting that an individual chooses. And that's what, when parents and individuals themselves meet with me, that's what we're planning for. We're trying to maintain the ability to stay included and receive services, while also having enough assets to supplement lifestyle. I think one of the other really important parts of planning is outside of that box, that trust box. It's making sure you put those supports in place. It's understanding the different services that an individual can receive, knowing what waiver funds are out there. Is there a dental clinic? What is out there? What supports do you have to thrive in the community, to be included, making sure that everyone has their own say in that process, and, in self-determining their futures. So all of that is important. I really try when I'm working with a family or just talking to friends and other parents that are planning for the future, is that they look at all the opportunities that are out there, from, employment to socializing to housing, and that all is a part of planning for the future. It gives you a little bit of peace of mind to know that someone will have an individual can attain a fulfilling life.
Can you let us know what challenges arise when people with disabilities and their families don't plan ahead for the future?
So there can be challenges in the housing realm. There can be challenges if you have not done your estate planning, where you're keeping in mind that an individual who's receiving like means-tested benefits like medical assistance or supplemental security income can't have more than $2,000 in their name. So if you haven't planned, and then that individual gets too much money, whether it's through a life insurance policy at work or your IRA, or just through your will or through the intestacy statute, that could then jeopardize those means-tested benefits, like waiver funds that allow individuals to live in the community. So we want to be proactive and plan for that, so that you're not over the resource limit and someone would lose those benefits. We know that there are waiting lists for these benefits, so it's crucial once you obtain them to keep them. So that is important to plan, but it's also important to plan for what the future looks like on a community level, and to think about, what are some of the involvements that individuals have in the community, and how do you support them into the future?
A lot of the families that we work with express feeling overwhelmed with the whole idea of planning for the future, whether it's the individuals themselves or their families. And can you maybe give us a good first step that people should take on this path of future legal and financial planning?
I think the first step is I know JRS has wonderful seminars. I think the first step is to become educated, to learn as much as you can so that you can make decisions about what you need. There's a lot of seminars. I know our firm has webinars online. We have a wealth of information on the McAndrews Law website that you can learn about all the different things you might need in the future. There's information on guardianship. There's information on special needs trusts, planning. All of that is on the website. And so in addition to seminars that JRS may give, or that you may find in the community through organizations like Achieva or Autism Connection, it's out there. And then make the next step to reach out to a professional to start that planning. Because once you have a grasp of the information, it doesn't seem as overwhelming. It's still a lot of information, but then your professional that you work with can walk you through those steps. And I often hear parents say, this wasn't so bad. Actually, I'm glad I made this step because it wasn't so difficult to get through this process. It's sort of that getting over that hurdle, that uncomfortableness of dealing with that future of uncertainty. And I think once you get a plan in place and you feel a little more in control, it gives you that peace of mind. I know for me, at least with 2 young adults on the spectrum, knowing that I have my estate plan in place and now we're working on housing and employment and all of those, it's one step towards that future so that you can put it all together and allow your family to move in that direction.
Yeah, you mentioned the resources on your firm's website. I also subscribe to the emails that they send out weekly, which are really informative. Are there other resources where people could find helpful information about ABLE accounts or special needs trusts or estate planning if they want to educate themselves more?
In addition to the website and the articles that are on there, several other organizations also have information on their websites, like Achieve a Family Trust, the different organizations in the city. But you can also, so for example, if someone was interested in opening an ABLE account is a savings vehicle for an individual with a disability that doesn't jeopardize their receipt of means-tested benefits if it doesn't go over a certain amount. And you can just go to the paable.gov website and get information on that as well. So in addition, there's also, when you work with your supports coordinator, they'll have information to provide to parents as well. So there's all different avenues. Talk to other parents. Usually they are a wealth of information, online groups as well.
Oh, that was very helpful. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and at JRS, we're so thrilled about you being awarded the Shore-Whitehill Award, and really happy that you're being recognized for work that you do. Thank you.
I would like to thank Achieva and JFCS for nominating me for this award.